So we want to talk to you guys a little bit about site selection, why we choose the site we do, and it's pretty easy for Matt and I because we both have kind of settled on the same site for the past, I don't know how many years, 4 years, 4 or 5 years. And the site I use is it's a black gold 3-pin slider, and the reason I like a 3-pin slider for the type of hunting I do is I've got my fixed 30, 40, 50 pins, and so for example, if an elk runs into a setup, I'm pretty much covered on everything, every distance I might have, and then anything beyond that, I can just dial yardage and shoot the exact, I shoot my bottom pin for the exact yardage. And you know, usually if you are going to shoot beyond that, which I don't shoot beyond that a lot, Matt doesn't either, but if I shoot beyond that, I can dial exactly 54 yards, 59 yards, whatever I want, and have an exact target to shoot. And a lot of times on extended ranges, you have the time to do so also, compared to like an elk running to setup like I explained. And so that's the sight I shoot. This is a black gold pure. It's just a bulletproof sight. I love it. So
yep. And I agree totally with Zach. And of course you get to hunt with buddies, especially somebody you hunt with a lot like Zach and I do, and you just end up shooting a lot of the same equipment. And it's a perfect way to put it. You know, the way I always looked at it is anything, for myself at least, beyond 50 yards, I shouldn't be just pulling up and taking a wild guess and shooting anyways. Like, I'm pretty good, practice enough, 20, 30, 40, 50, I can get a lot of those ranges, even though I'll pre-range everything. But if it's outside of 50 yards, one, like you said, you have the time to do it, and two, I should really be dialing it in, because that's, you know, getting to the point where I need to make sure that my arrow is precise, because it really starts to drop a lot after that.
Your pin gap changes a lot beyond that.
Yep.
So
Zach shoots the pure gold. The sight I shoot is the Ascent. It's sort of, in a lot of ways, it's more like the, I wouldn't say entry level. All black gold sights are premier sight company, but this is like sort of their benchmark staple core line, and the pure gold is their upper echelon premium. Both function the same way with a wheel that you dial, and you get your bow speed, and it comes with a bunch of different tape, and once you know your arrow speed, those tapes are right on. So you can see the way we set it up. Our bottom pin is 50, top pin 30, so 30, 40, 50. And so this little arrow here is pointing to 50. My tape starts at 50 and then goes 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
And the nice thing is you sight in so it's right at the top of your sight travel. So, you know, if you're in the heat of the moment, all you gotta do is make sure you run it to the top and you're back to 30, 40, 50. It re-zeros everything. And then anything beyond that, you can go back quick. Where if you have it lower in your sight tape, you know, you kind of have to think about it. This one, you can just go right to the top. Practice
is really important.
Yeah.
Because we've all made some mistakes. You have to remember, always get in the habit. It just has to be ritualistic, that you move it back to the 50 position or whatever your top position is every single time. Otherwise, you can get yourself into some trouble shooting over things, not remembering to adjust back to top position.
Why don't you tell us about the pins, what you shoot on yours?
Sure. So there's another cool thing about black gold. When you order these sights, and even if you buy one in the store, you can order them later, you can get any different pin color you can imagine, and 3 different sizes: 0.29, 0.19, and 0.10.
Yep.
And so I shoot my 30 and 40 are 0.19, and my 50 is a 0.1. The reason being is that I want a larger pin diameter for my top two, because they gather light better that way, and I can see them in lower light situations, and the target is bigger at 30 and 40, and then out to 50 I want a little more precision, especially when I'm dialing that pin down. So then I go to a 0.10, and I actually change the colors too, where my top pin is green, the reason being that green gathers the most light and stays bright the longest. My second pin is red, and red is actually, although this is different for Zach, he sees it differently, red is the first color in the light spectrum to disappear, and so my second pin is red, and so that way when I can't see my second pin anymore, I know basically it's time to not shoot, because I don't have enough light anymore. And
personally, I see red better, so my top pin is red, because that's the pin I shoot 90% of the time on animals, is my top pin. And I shoot all 0.10 pins just because I like a smaller aiming point on every pin. And it's just a personal preference, and it's great that you can pick whatever colors and sizes you wanted, and it's just a great option to have.
It's one of the nice things about black gold.
Yep.